Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Brahma Kumaris, Silicon Valley, in being a better version of yourself. Today is day 8, unlike yesterday was day 7. So we will continue our journey here and actually get started with the meditation and then into the content. So let's get started with the meditation. Let me just put on the music. Let's relax the mind and the body by taking few deep breaths. I am the creator of love, and a creator is never in scarcity of its creation. I can create it anytime, any moment. When I get into body consciousness, when I think of myself as matter, then I create love still. The spirit is the one that creates love. But because of the matter consciousness, I create love conditionally. So the temple of my heart gets polluted sometimes with ill feelings, hatred, resentment. Because of body consciousness. My heart is the most sacred place where I, the deity of love, resides. I refuse any bad odor of negativity from entering into it. I remain in the fragrance of soul consciousness. I am the child of ocean of love, the comforter of hearts, God. When my heart is connected to God's heart, then love is pouring out of me through my eyes, through my smile, through the glow of my face, through my sweet words, and through my cooperative hands. I am my best friend when I keep my heart fragrant with love, and it remains fragrant when I maintain regard for thyself and for every being in this world. The deepest need of every soul is love, respect. God is the only being that meets the core need of every soul, and that is why God is loved by all, and I, the carbon copy of the comforter of hearts, God, already has the design to create regard for every being, every soul of this world. My heart is filled with fragrance. It expands in warmth. When it is filled with love. Every being in my city is abundant in love and kindness. Every being in my country is abundant in love and kindness. Every being in our world is abundant in love and kindness. Thank you, my dear God, for making me loving and giving me a beautiful life. Welcome everybody, once again to being a better version of yourself. So yesterday we talked about how a soul consciousness, the awareness of being a soul, changes our expression, the way we express ourselves, and then automatically the experience, our life becomes, our world becomes beautiful. A lot of times we keep complaining, oh my gosh, why is my world like this? Why are my relationships like this? Why is my work like this? But we fail to check how were we expressing ourselves. And expressing is not just at the words and action level, it is inside. How are you perceiving others? What is your attitude towards others? What are your thoughts towards them? In Brahma Kumaris, we are taught relationships with people starts at the thought level, not at the word level. And majority of the people in the world focus on words and actions. they they are dishonest, their thoughts might be very different from the words. So we are always taught, if you want to fix your experience of life, fix your expression, the way you are, the soul is expressing itself through its body, and that expression will change when I remember who I am, how beautiful my qualities are, and who my eternal parent is. And that's when that better version starts expressing itself through the body, and automatically the world becomes better. So today we will talk about, remember we had talked few days back about the gauge we use to measure our value. And typically, we had mentioned that it is people. We check either the people or our results, and then we give ourselves a thumbs up. When everybody is saying, wow, great job, Meghna, then I also give myself a great job. And otherwise, I feel low. Now, the real judge, the one that can judge the self accurately, is really I myself. The soul is the one that can judge itself accurately. And when we learn the art of doing this beautifully and accurately, we soon develop pure love for thyself. So, how do we go about really evaluating ourselves? Before we get into the steps of it, typically what we tend to do is we either look at ourselves in a derogatory manner, below average manner, which is inferiority complex, where I tend to focus only on my weaknesses, and I fail to see any strengths, and that's why I look at myself like this. Or there are certain people who look at only their strengths. Even though they might have many weaknesses, they refuse to look at it. This is superiority complex. And typically, this is just based on comparison with others, or really not honestly looking at the self. And not even knowing, many people don't even know themselves that well. They don't know what their real strengths and weaknesses are. They only know it at a very superficial level. Oh, I'm good at programming or cooking or stitching or dancing, really at the external level. Internal level, very few of us know ourselves accurately. The way to really look at ourselves is like this here, where I'm looking at both my strengths and weaknesses. I'm looking at myself exactly the way I am. So, yes, this exercise does require a courage to say that I want to look and understand myself, enough of understanding myself through others' eye. And if there was only one eye, it would have been fine. We know many people in our life, and everybody gives us a different opinion. So, who am I? So, with full honesty, I look at both my strengths and weaknesses, lot of gentleness in handling ourselves when I'm looking at my weakness. And this exercise is not something that we quickly do and dismiss, saying, oh, this is boring, or this is too difficult, or I can't figure out who I am. Yes, it does take time. We have not looked at ourselves really. We've looked at ourselves in a very superficial manner, comparing with each other. So when I just no comparison with anyone, just looking honestly at myself and figuring out what my strengths and weaknesses are. One of the biggest advantages I have seen of really doing every day at Brahma Kumaris, we are taught to maintain a chart or a journal of our progress. Because one is we are connecting to our eternal truth, our true form, and we want to see how much of that true form is now flowing through my current form. The whole idea is my higher image, the eternal image, and I, the current self, the gap should keep reducing. I should see my current self getting elevated day by day. And this tracking our progress helps in seeing, am I going in the right direction? The biggest advantage of this is when we start validating ourselves, the hunger, the deep, restless hunger that people have for external validation. People look at me, smile at me, appreciate me, acknowledge me. It finishes. There is so much restlessness when we want people's appreciation, people's regard. It doesn't mean we don't care, but yes, it's great if we get that feedback. But I am the one who has taken the responsibility of respecting myself and loving myself. It is indeed our responsibility to validate ourselves, to love ourselves, to respect ourselves, right? We've given it to many people, and then that's why we go through low and high self esteem. So, first step is really self reflection. Check your day. How did it go? What all happened? The idea here is more to focus on the qualities of the soul, the inner qualities. How were they flowing and how were they manifesting in our expression? Then, next step is to appreciate everything good that happened. Pat your back, hug yourself, praise yourself, and yes, give that appreciation to God or credit to someone else. Don't eat it alone. The idea is not to become this superiority complex or anything, but really to appreciate, how your eternal form is now coming closer to your current form. Third step, we might notice some issues, some weaknesses, which is okay. Really spend some time here, create a plan on how you are going to correct this. What is that awareness that will remove this weakness? Because the whole idea of the fourth step, which is we invoke our higher self, which is our eternal form or our original deity form. So, as we keep connecting to this right awareness, these weaknesses automatically start vanishing off. The idea is not to feel guilty, not to feel overwhelmed, but to keep an eye. When we keep attention on what are our strengths and weakness, next day we what we have given ourselves pat on our back, we will use it more. Many times when we don't know our qualities, we try to copy some other people's qualities, which is okay. Copying qualities is good, but sometimes those qualities don't flow very naturally from us. We are all unique beings, right? So if I know what is my speciality and I tick mark it saying, Meghna, this is so beautiful, keep doing it, then just that small attention enables that quality to flow more often, and my expression becomes very beautiful. And because I've also paid attention to the weakness, I am careful next day for that weakness to not manifest itself again. And then this daily exercise of connecting to our eternal form, who am I? And what my qualities are, where do I come from, how perfect a being I am. And even for these weakness, no hatred for the self, just complete acceptance. And then the last step is actually automatic. When I, in this last few years, as I have started to appreciate my strengths, and I've also started changing, many of the weaknesses are no more existing. Majority of the work was done just by invoking my eternal form. It corrects the current, negativity that might have been acquired. Then this conviction is automatic. When you see how you can transform yourself, when you can make yourself a better version, this confidence in the self, this unshakable faith that I am a respectable being automatically develops. And a person who judges themselves, they will have no fear of being judged. We fear being judged because we've not noted anything. We don't even know ourselves. We are walking blind and we are scared what people might find in us. But when we know, we have seen ourselves clearly, there is no fear of being judged. And we are thankful that, oh my gosh, yes, I want to be this better version. And in my evaluation, I didn't find the weakness. You spotted it. Thank you for this critical feedback. Now I can make myself even more beautiful. Or I'm already beautiful. I just come closer to my eternal form by removing the weakness. So, every day, highly recommend you all to maintain a chart, note down your strengths and weaknesses, and see how beautiful, the transformation speedens up a lot when we maintain a journal of our progress, when we evaluate ourselves with lot of these beautiful qualities. So let's practice some of these learnings in our meditation. I, the soul, a tiny point of light, is looking at thyself, looking at the past to see how the journey has been. I already know that my eternal form is abundance, unlimitedness, perfection. So I'm checking my past of what I might have become with the intention of evaluating and tracking the progress. It's my responsibility to evaluate my actions, my expressions, because it impacts the experience I have, and it might impact many other people's experience, their life. I, the responsible being, does not dismiss the self for the past mistakes or for the weaknesses that I still might have. I am the child of the ever perfect God. He maintains faith in me. He is truth, and God says, "You are just like me." So I refuse to be demotivated by my current negativity. I keep the North Star of my eternal form in my awareness and slowly move from being a caterpillar to a cocoon. And I know the butterfly is not far away. I already see many beautiful qualities in me. They always existed, but I was asleep, so I did not notice it. I was only looking at body and others. Now I see in me many qualities that existed and were dormant are re-emerging as I connect to the Supreme Soul every day. It's like his DNA gets downloaded on me day by day. I find myself coming closer to my Father. I am a divine being, and divinity is natural form of a soul. So with this unshakable faith, that I am eternally perfect, I move from various different stages towards my butterfly stage. The better version of me is bound to emerge. It is already emerging in many ways, but one day I would be exactly like my eternal form, like God, a pure and a perfect being. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope you have a good evening. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time.